Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to me here at Sammy J Stitches, and it is time for a new Flosstube. I'm late, but not like super late. Today is Thursday, August 7th. I think I saw y'all on like July 28th, something like that. So it's been over a week, and it's been a week, but I'm here now. We're gonna get going through this. I will preface this with, I got chapped lips over the weekend and it cracked, and there's a cut right here where it's real pink. It's scabbed over, but if I move my mouth too much, it pops open and it really hurts. So I can't seem to leave it alone. So that's why the shiny lips, because it's chapstick going over it, and I try not to, but I really do mess with it way too much. So if it drives you crazy, I apologize. It drives me crazy too. Okay, so the week prior to retreat, I'm not sure I got a ton of stitching in. You can tell I'm so super prepared. I'm gonna flip back to some pictures. Hold on. All right. It looks like I started my beading, so let me show you that. So my beading comes up on Monopoly. We have an other crafts board. We have two of them. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like either one is close to being one, which means we won't be starting a new one this month. We're still working on the semantics of that, but yeah. So we have it's called an other crafts board. It's mainly for anything non-cross stitch related. So your knitting, your crochet, your diamond painting, your knitting, crochet, diamond painting, beading, anything like that. The only thing I have that's not cross stitch is a couple beading projects. And at first I only had one, but I foresaw needing more than one for the Monopoly game, and because I really do enjoy it. And so I pre-ordered the hummingbird kit, but since the board was starting before I knew when I would get my beads, so for three sides of the board, I have one project. Well, each side has one cross stitch project, but I put that one beading project on all the others. And then on the last row, I put the new one because I knew it'd take me some time to get there. So when I landed on that side of the board, it came up and I needed to start it. So for 500 beads, here's where we're at. So these beads are more uniform than the beads on Mythos, my little dragon. So they're a little bit tighter, not quite as smooth, but line up so beautifully. And I love the way these line up too, but you do see where like this bead's a little bit more narrow, this one's a little more thick, stuff like that. These are all exactly the same. So this is 500 beads in to hummingbird. I think we've got the edge of a wing on this one, and I'm not sure over there. So I did get that started. Make sure nothing important just text me. Okay. So I'm gonna put that up and go back to my photos. All right. I have worked on a couple things that are not in here, apparently. One was I did get some work in on Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream. I needed 500 stitches for something on Monopoly, and I did get those stitches. Trying to remember where. Nope, I may have been partially through it when I made my last video, or right towards the end of it. But anyways, this is where she's at. and the color is so blown out. There we go. There we go. So I got these blocks over here done. I was trying to move the parked threads out of the way. It's a picture. Anyway, so I did get some stitching in on Alice, and it was because of Monopoly. Then, I think that came up for Monopoly also. Pretty sure. I pulled out Llama Lump. Again, it's another one that I don't have sitting here. Obviously not prepared. So I need to put 500 stitches into it based on how many I have here, and here's where it got to. So I worked on that on July 27th. It's super cute. All right. I think that might have been for other craft Monopoly, because I did put a few of my tissue box designs on there. So I'm not sure. Anyway, this one's definitely from Monopoly. It was my Daily 100. It is not in here. And that was Ladies Who Lunch. So I'm trying to make sure I didn't have a video post stitching on these, because none of them are in here. I think because I cleaned up before I left to go out of town. Anyway, so this was for head of household, so it was my Daily 100 for the whole week, and it was Ladies Who Lunch, and this is where we got to. So really all I have left on this one, I really feel like I talked about this before, is the rest of this ladybug and the designs that go in between the ladybugs. Is all I have left. So this is definitely going to be a finish that's December. Could potentially get finished before then. I do know it's going to come up in some stitching very soon, but I'm behind on everything. So that is Ladies Who Lunch from Fox and Rabbit. Then as another, this one was some Big Brother stitching also. And I pulled out Edgar. Edgar is from Kitty and Me Designs. I started it with a friend for my son because he asked for it. Both because it's an owl, pretty sure. But also it's orange and black, which is their school colors. So here's where we got to there. And I put 500 stitches into it too, I believe. I know I did a bunch of Krynic and then a bunch of black. And I think that's pretty much it. All right, and lastly, of the ones I don't have here with me, is it was also for Big Brother, and it finished out my week 1 stitches finally, since we're going into week 4. And that is Heart Full of Gratitude from Cottage Garden Samplings. We worked on the house. I don't think I had any of the house before Zay stitches. So this will no longer get called up for Big Brother because he got evicted. That's why I had to do so many stitches. So one project down and 16 more to go when it comes to Big Brother stitching. All right, so the next thing I worked on, and I worked on this, the HOH for week 3 was a person that I assigned to my tissue box designs. So the idea was that I started these patterns back in January, that if I finished them, then I could start the next one in that set, series, designer, whatever, on the 14th of the next month. Well, I haven't gotten to work on them nearly as much this year as I did last year. Again, all year my stitching has been kind of eh. I'm hoping that's in the process of changing. You will find out as I find out. So I pulled this project to be a plain project, to be the daily, the HOH, and also I think it came up for something else on Monopoly. So I worked on Tricks and Treats from Little Stitch Girl. And this is what it looks like now. I put 500 stitches into it for all those things that I mentioned. And move some stuff around in this baggie. I kitted these up on live with everybody that showed up to my live. And I think when I get done stitching them, I'm going to re-kit them again, as you see, all kitted up, and give them away on one of my lives when I get back to doing those. Won't be this weekend, I don't think. It could possibly be Sunday, but we'll see. So anyway, this is what it's gonna look like. This is where we're at. I got lots of plain stitching on it, and then I stitched on it some at retreat too, so. Which we will talk about treat, and I have retreat, and I have plenty to show you when we get there. It's on a Live and Die LA, so it's kind of dark. Really like it. It's called Gila from Live and Die LA. It's a 28 count Lugana. Hela. I think 3 of the designs are going to go on that fabric before I change fabrics. All right, so then the next thing I worked on was another thing I needed for Big Brother. A few things happened. She got nominated. She came off. I don't know off the top of my head, but I needed to work on this project a few times for that. And then, and actually, I think I still need to, or I got caught up and then I need to pull it back out or something like that. But, so I worked on this some at retreat. So. And this is Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower. It is on a 40 count Verdal. And I worked a lot like in the stem. These are new. Most of this is new. Got some words in there. I think I had a couple of these center pieces I had to stitch. So I maybe should start taking a nap when I get home from work, because I am tired. So hopefully we will see that one again soon. All right, then the next thing I did was I had 2 new starts. I did this on Saturday while I was at retreat. One of the new starts was something I completely kitted and decided to start while I was there, because I went to the Stitchy store, and then while I was there I saw this pattern and I texted my daughter. She's like, I absolutely love it. Okay, so I kitted it up and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. It's cool. And then the other one I had kitted for a while, and had planned to start with Sarah because this past weekend was my birthday, and so it was kind of our birthday start. So I have those here, and this is where it's a little, because like I said, this is part of my haul. I bought it, but I went ahead and used it. So there's that. Let's see which one. I'm gonna start with the one I bought and kitted up. And I don't know off the top of my head where the actual pattern is. Maybe in here. Let me see if it's in there. I didn't leave it in the bag. Okay, here it is. So this is from Glendon Place. It's Helanthus. Anyways, it's the sunflower. I think it says the sunflower mandala. So it looked like a sunflower. My daughter's favorite thing is sunflowers, so she's like, absolutely, I need that. It's kitted up in all dinky dyes, and she didn't have all of them there, but she had quite a few, so it was enough to get me started. So this is the pattern. And then I picked out a right on the tip of my tongue. Fabric Flare fabric that was at Cindy Sorley's shop. Stitchery Express, that's where I was for the retreat. And anyway, so it starts off with like blue, it's got a little white in it, almost like clouds, and it goes down into a very soft green. And so I showed it to my daughter, she loved it. So here is my start. I think I did 200 stitches just to get started on it. I went through 2 colors. Sorry. I will get to that in just a second. You will understand. Okay. So my idea is that I'm going to work up and then start working down. But as I pulled off a skein, I kind of wanted to finish the strand that I clipped. So that's why. That's why that. These were given to me from one of my table mates named Holly. It was my first time getting to meet her, even though she's been a customer of mine for a little bit, and absolutely adored her, and she was totally like in sync with the rest of our group. It was great. And this little kitty paw magnet thing is so cute. So cute. So, and I did buy the Nerge while I was there too. The bag was actually brought to me. This is a Stitch and Button bag. Y'all know I order from her all the time. I had pre-ordered this as soon as she showed the fabric, because she does, each time she does a new batch of bags, she will put up the different fabrics that she's offering and say, you know, does anybody want anything made out of this? That way she's not making a bunch of bags that nobody wants to buy. So I bought it a while ago. She just brought it to me at the retreat. And then I also love her Notions bags. So she brought me this one. And of course, because it's sunflower, it had to go with this project. And it's got all the dinky dyes in there and the beads. And it helps keep everything together inside of the bigger bag, so that I'm not knocking them out every time I pull the project out. So there's a little touch of my haul so that I could show you the project. Then for my birthday, Sarah and I started, where'd I put it? I know it's here. Sarah and I started Enchanted Rose from Bella Filipina. It's the Belle princess, and there's not a lot to show just yet. I put 200 stitches in it, but it was all like the framing of her hair. We did decide to start in the center. This is the center. It actually started off with Krynic. I went with the DMC that was closest. And this is on Tea Rose from Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I absolutely love it. And actually, Sarah had picked out 2 fabrics because she couldn't decide between the 2. And then neither one of them worked. So she's going to be doing it on the exact same fabric as me, which is how we did America from Kitty and Me Design. So I just think it's funny that the 2 retreats, well, 2 of the 3 retreats we've gone to together, we've started something together, same project on the same fabric. Literally one that the first time I bought it and cut it in half for us, and this one I just happened to have and cut it in half. So there's that. I did buy the Nerge while I was there. That's the only one there. And I didn't even have all the flosses on a floss card or anything. In fact, the first color I started with, I didn't have. I did take my floss box for this reason. Didn't have it in there, so I had to borrow a skein of Sarah's, or a strand from Sarah's skein. Okay, and then on the flight home, I didn't get to stitch because my flights were just very full and crowded and short, actually. Once I got home, I have worked on World Postage Stamp. This is for another Big Brother person that instead of giving them a specific project, I gave them my checklist, which is everything that I'm behind on from my goals. I think I'm mostly caught up to like May of this year, so just a few more months on each project to get it caught up. World Postage Stamp's monthly goal is 500 stitches, and I'm pretty sure I'm in May for this one, or I just posted May and I'm working on June. But 500 stitches is going to get me a long way, and this is the bottom. This is the final. So part of my problem is that I'm out of like 3 colors. I put in an order, but I'm behind on colors. So I'm having to work, like, right now I'm working the white fill in, but this is World Postage Stamp from Soda Stitch, and it's a focus piece this year, 500 stitches each month. So it came up because of Big Brother. All right. I do believe that concludes the stitching portion of this. I have stitched on World Postage Stamp a couple more times since I've been home. I haven't gotten a lot of stitching this week, and the reason for that is because I started a new job on Monday. So I was supposed to go to retreat. Like, I booked it back in March, I think, March or April, for this weekend. And when I interviewed, I told them that I would be out of town this weekend. They said that's absolutely fine. They understand they would start me August 11th because they don't really start training midweek. And so I was like, well, I really hate to wait a whole nother week. So I moved my flight from Monday afternoon to Sunday evening, and that way I could be back in time to start at 8 o'clock Monday morning. And I should also include, I'll go over retreat a little bit more, but Sunday was my birthday, and so the big plan that day was for us all to go out to lunch. So we had to move lunch up just a little bit earlier so that I could be on a plane to come home. I get on the plane, and it's running about 20 minutes late, which is fine. I have a 2-hour layover. Go to double check that nothing's changed, no big deal, and everything has changed. My flight has been canceled. My new flight is at 5:15 in the morning to land in Midland at 7:45, but I need to be at work at 8. I tried to get myself moved onto a flight to another city that was close enough that my husband could just drive and pick me up. That didn't work. Everything was on standby, probably because everybody else was trying to do what I'm trying to do. I spoke to my new bosses. They were completely fine with me showing up a little late on my first day, despite the fact that they are vehement about being on time, and so am I. They made this allowance for me, so that was really good, and it also gave me really good feelings about working for this company because they really seemed to want me there. They really worked with me. It was great. So I landed at 7:45. My husband picked me up from the airport, gave me clothes so that while we were waiting for my bag, I could go change, be presentable for work. I had to stay overnight in the Denver airport. It was an adventure. And luckily, I was only about 20 minutes late, and everything went well. Monday was just computer training, like watching videos over, the typical safety, PPE, sexual harassment, cybersecurity, a little bit into the actual job that I'll be doing, and getting my laptop set up, getting all my supplies, getting my shirts, things like that. Got out of there a little bit early on the first day, which was great because I was exhausted. Tried to come home and go straight to bed. Didn't quite work, but I tried. Since then, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I work 6 a.m. to 2:30 in the afternoon, but it is laborious. It is hot, and I'm loving it. Not the fact that it's laborious or hot, but just feeling like I'm actually doing something. I'm good at it. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. The team is really cohesive. I haven't talked to these people a whole lot. They're not very social, which is fine, no big deal. But without words, we are seamlessly doing the job cohesively. And I know that sounds very weird, but it's great. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. So I've been getting home in the evenings, and had to play a little catch up on the house because I was out of town, and catch up on my business because I've been out of town. And a lot of times when I go to sit down and stitch, I turn into a zombie. I'm like, I really could use a couple extra hours of sleep or a nap after work before I get into all this. Haven't done any of that yet. So it's made stitching slow, but I am really, really enjoying it. And I do think getting home at 2:30 in the afternoon will eventually mean I get plenty of stitching in the evening time. I just got to get used to everything first. Okay, so retreat. I flew out on Thursday. I think my flight took off from here about 5 o'clock in the morning. I landed there about 10:45. Sarah from our Stitching Kingdom picked me up. I think the first thing we did was we went out to lunch. And then we went up to Stitchery Express. A whole bunch of people were meeting up there, getting to look around the shop, but because retreat doesn't actually start till Friday. But Nancy from Pickle Barrel Designs was up there, and we got to meet with her and see all her new stuff that's out or fixing to come out even. I think we got some spoilers there. We were supposed to meet Carolyn Manning, but she wasn't able to make it. And so yeah, it was just a little bit of a meet and greet, and I did some shopping. And I'll get to what I shopped for that you haven't seen here in a minute because it's mixed into everything. I'm trying to think. I got all the stuff for Helianthus. Where did those go? Oh, I bet they're in here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I even have the stuffs. And then I went to Sarah's house and hung out with her and her daughter for a few, and her husband. Got to say hi to them, took her daughter to dance, and then we went out to dinner with some of our other friends. And that was fun and an experience because it was immersive. They had dioramas, they had covered wagon type things that you sat in. I don't know. It was really neat. The food was really good, and the atmosphere was amazing. We had a good time, good laughs, that sort of thing. Then I went back to my hotel, and because I felt like I hadn't slept in 2 days. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure I was at the airport on time, having not gone to bed till almost 11 at night, I was tired. Conked out at the hotel. The next morning, I meet everybody at the stitching room about 9 o'clock. They let us in at 9:30. We sat and stitched until lunch. Everybody went out to lunch together. I helped some people discover the brilliance of Moe's Southwest Grill. It's like a Subway for nachos, y'all. If you haven't tried it and you have one, you should definitely try it. Went back to stitch your room, stitched some more. I feel like that was all on Friday. Saturday, again, stitchy room, lunch. Where'd we go for lunch? No, Saturday lunch was free. It was included, so we just had sandwiches there. We had an early dinner, met up with Sarah's husband and Jen's husband, and went out to Texas Roadhouse, where they decided to embarrass me for my birthday. I did not ride in the saddle at Texas Roadhouse, but they did sing, and I'm embarrassed easily because I don't actually like being the center of attention. I know that I have a Flosstube and that people watch me, but y'all are there and I'm here. It's not the same as when the room is all looking at you. So we went out to dinner, we got back, we did some stitching, got those new starts in. Sunday morning, they embarrassed me again in the stitchy room, had lunch, then left. So that was the weekend. Let's see some haul. Y'all are probably way over listening to me talk. And I'm just going to grab things and then go through them because, like I said, things got kind of transplanted all over the place. This bag, I believe, is from... Here's the thing. I wasn't there when they announced this, and they passed them around, and I did get to pick out which bag I wanted. I think this is from Nancy at Pickle Barrel. She may have commissioned somebody else to make them. If so, I am unaware of who. But they're super cute. Little bags. It's got a snap on it. It's also got like a drawstring type situation going on. So, if somebody else is the reason we have these, I sincerely apologize. I missed it. All right. In fact, I think, oh, it flattens out at the bottom. All right. What is in here? See, and this is what I think is because this is the stuff from Pickle Barrel. So she designed a pattern for us. I do not think this is gonna be released in any other time, format, anything like this. This is super exclusive to this retreat, is my understanding. So the pattern, there's actually two, is Kiss My Dairy Air. Get it? Dairy Air with a cow. Or Fluent in Foul Language. These are super adorable. Probably gonna have to stitch them at some point. So they both use DMC. They're about 61 by 49 stitches. They're just super cute. So, and then here is the flosses for, I believe, both of them. So I'm thinking one side is one and the other side is another. Again, I missed the announcement, but here is floss card with, see, here's the yellows and red and green. So I think this is the chicken one and this is the, the cow one. So I'm gonna put this back in this bag so that I don't lose things. And then, oh, we did get a fabric for that, and it's somewhere else because they had us go out. You got to choose, but when we signed up for the retreat, whether you were getting Ada or even weave. So then we went out in the hall and they handed me my even weave, but I don't know where it got stuck. They also, I think that's just a card, gave us a needle apparently, and the backing fabrics for both pieces. And last but not least, a needle minder that says Utah 2025 and has both the cow and the chicken on it. Super cute. So that was in there. This other thing that happens to be in this bag was a table gift from Cara. It's something about stitching in her cave. Hold on. K in the Cave of Possibilities. This is a different YouTube name than when I first started watching her, and K's Crafty something. So anyway, she had a bunch of these, and she gave, you could pick through them. So they're little Notions bags. And of course I had to go from So Much to Love, but Cara's the one that gave it to us. Or Cara? I don't know. It's some pronunciation. I feel like it's Cara, but I know somebody was saying Cara. Anyway, here is, it's super cute. It's a little Notions bag. So that was everything I kept in that bag. Okay, so the other designer that was supposed to be there was Carolyn Manning. She did not get to show up, but she did send goodies. And again, I think this is an exclusive design. I don't know whether or not it'll be released later. But for the stitching retreat, and this is Pretty Pink Carnation, and it is actually way prettier stitched up. I mean, this is a beautiful pattern, but I got to see it stitched in person, and it was lovely. So in here, we also, I put the fabric with it. I get even weave. I believe this is a 32 count. And actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I keep all this together like this. All right. And then the flosses came on this beautiful floss card. And there's other stuff in the bag. What is it? Another needle. I'm gonna be full up on needles. Never have too many. And this needle minder is gorgeous. In fact, it's so pretty, I'm not gonna put it in the bag. I'm gonna stick it over here on my lamp. And they have some of the thinnest magnets I have ever seen, which is really cool. Or I'm just gonna throw it. Okay, so put that there. All right, and it came in one of these bags that you can get from Amazon, and I'm gonna stick it back in the bag. So that was the kit from Carolyn Manning. So we got one from Pickle Barrel and one from Carolyn Manning. And that we will get to in a minute. This was the retreat bag that everybody got just for attending. It has a wooden paddle for not beating people with, but finishing your stitching on. I had to remind Vicky a couple times. It had this in it, which has a set of patterns for the whole year. So there's that. Trying to remember what was in here because a bunch of stuff has gotten added. Oh, and then this was also designed by Nancy over at Pickle Barrel. And it was a tribute for Carolyn Manning's mom, which is why she couldn't be there. And somebody went ahead before the retreat, stitched up this saying, "Mothers are like buttons, they hold everything together," which I think is really, really neat. And then we all went and sewed buttons onto it so that they can give it to Carolyn Manning or her mom. But then we also got the pattern. So, and then when the doors open, what's close by to eat, that kind of little instruction. We also got scissors. One can never have too many scissors. And then a Utah needle minder. I don't know if that's supposed to be like an alien ship or like a jet. I'm wondering if it's a jet because there was like an airport museum they were taking some of the husbands to. Okay, I think that was everything that was in the, and it came with the needle also, but I actually ended up using that one. Okay, I think that was everything that was in there. Then there was some freebie table stuff. Oh, nope. Just kidding. There's one more. Keychain. Stitch the day away. That was in the back. All right, freebie table stuff. Alessandra Adelaide's tea. I just really like the whimsical of all of her stuff. So, it's not that I'm a big tea drinker, but that's just pretty. And free. Counting Petals, Wild and Free. Super cute pony. The Witchy Stitchers Ghost Stories. That is just really cool looking. And then this, I actually hadn't opened and looked at. I think, oh, those are labels. And then it has, it's a floss card, but it's also got the mat for putting your threads and stuff on. So, it's really cool. All right. So that was that. And then more table gifts. This was from Carrie. There's a little Starbucks gift card. And then this one was from Sarah. And it has, this is for like cleaning the screen on your device. You can unfold it into like a towel. And then these are for glasses. Clean them. And it came in this cute little zipper pouch. Okay, I'm gonna slide all this back in here. You thought I was done, but I am not. All right. This, I think, holds a few different table gifts. So the bag, of course, was a table gift, and it had to be for me because it says Texas on it. She's like, I wonder who this one's for. Each of our bags said something different. And not all states, but. So my friend gave me this, and it came with this really cool pair of scissors. Came in a box. And they're gorgeous, and they snip very well. I used them quite a bit while I was at retreat, actually. Which is why they're not in the box. Oh. I forgot, those are for Lexi. There was somebody there that had some 3D printed stuff. So I got some floss things if I need them. And also like an orc catcher. Big frog. He's really cute. So that was just random. That didn't come in this bag. This came in this bag. So I've been going to retreat with this lady a few times, and she doesn't do floss tubes or anything, but there was this big joke the last time we got together about hedgehogs. So she 3D printed a hedgehog, and if you'll notice, it's got all these holes in the top. She gave us pins, so then when you put the pins in the holes, it sticks up like a hedgehog. So cute and very funny. We had a good laugh about that one. She gave us a lint roller because definitely need that with these cats. It's a pin / stylus, and it says "Leave me alone," which I think is so funny. A needle minder that says "Stay off." It's got a cute little frog. And the pins. There's the pins. So those all came in this bag. Then, let's stick some stuff in. We're almost done, just a few more things. This was made from my friend Andrea for me. It says Happy Stitching. She says it's a mug rug, and she kept having me set my drink on it all weekend, so super cute. Okay, this baggie was from Vic over at Stitch and Button. She gave us a couple stickers of like project information. So your project name, the designer, who it's stitched by. I think so that you put it on the back after you do your finish. So she gave us a couple of those. Bag closed. This one, she specifically thought of me for. This is a bookmark. And she made it. She bought the bookmarks, and then she did the beads, and she put that dragon on it, and it looks amazing. Super awesome. She always gives us little pins with the year, so we can put it on whatever from retreat. Brought me a needle minder that says "Stay Weird." And she passed these around the table. They weren't really... Oh, wait. I think there's more stuff in there. There's more stuff. She passed these around because they were just so cute. And there's a bunch of them. I just grabbed a few. Fox. And a red panda. Okay. And this little box came from Holly, our new table mate, who, like I said before, fit in perfectly. And she was the one that had these that you saw in the project. There's a couple more. But in this box is some more stuff from Vic. I got a needle puller, and it has an alien on it to go with my Stay Weird. Oh, what's it say? I want to believe. My Stay Weird needle minder. These are chart holders. They're not needle minders because they're a little bit big for that. But this little turtle, and he glows in the dark. So that should be super fun for the cats later tonight. And then this one is a hedgehog. Again, because we have that ongoing joke about hedgehogs. A Frogger, which I did end up having to use several times this weekend, with a frog on it. And a threader with, I think that's a little purse. Needle threader. Oh, and another one of those stickers. This one is, I think, a mouse. I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay. Oh, and this one was also from Jen, who gave me this bag, and it's a tape measure. So I think I got every accoutrement goodie known to man this weekend. And then, oh my goodness, I found another bag. Okay, hold on. I got these two Notion bags from Vic. This weekend at the retreat, there was a smalls exchange, an ornament exchange, and a bag exchange. So you could take a stitchy bag that's in your stash that maybe you don't love anymore or whatever, and you wrapped it and put it up on the table, and then you got to draw. And the one I got is this. Such a beautiful fabric. The back is more autumnal, lots of pumpkins. And there's more stuff in here. Okay. This came with the bag. So the person that put the bag up on the table stuck this pattern in there. It says "Eat Crow." It has a vulture on it, but it goes with the pumpkins. This is a fabric I got at Cindy's, at Stitchery Express, just because I love the way it ombres. It's gorgeous, like a sunset. Oh. Okay, these are two kits that I got that I was like, I don't know where those are. So this is from Ink Circles, and it is a skunk. And it's the kit. It comes with everything that you need. And then this one is also a skunk, but it's a little bit different. Got a spotted skunk and a striped skunk. I actually won a door prize while I was there. And this is Angels We Have Heard on High from Crickwood Crossing. And the fabric I was asking or mentioning earlier for Pickle Barrel's finished projects. I made it into this bag. So that is everything. I think. If not, it'll have to do. All right. So that is it for me this week. I hope to, stitch a little bit more and get everything back to normal and be here next week. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you found something you enjoyed and keeps you coming back for more. I don't normally have so much talking life stuff. It's just a crazy one. And then if you're a returning friend and subscriber, thank you for coming back week after week. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all the ways that you show you love me, and I will see y'all next week.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sammy. Happy birthday.